Hello guys, welcome back to AKFPL. The last few weeks have been really busy, so I wasn't able to upload a Game Week 19 preview video. So this video is going to cover both the Game Week 18 and 19 reviews, and then we'll preview Game Week 20 as well. So we're going to start with Game Week 18. And Game Week 18, I played my free hit chip, and I got 52 points. Since Spurs versus Villa got postponed, I had no choice but to play the free hit because I only had 6 players playing otherwise in my team. The plan was to go with 9 players and to save the free hit. But with 6 players, it just wasn't feasible. So I played the free hit. Bought in a few Arsenal players, got Man United defender and Lloris in goal. Bought in Harry Kane. So overall, I got 52 points, which was a bit underwhelming. I mean, the average was 30 points. So 52 didn't seem a massive amount, but it was enough for me to get a green arrow and jump from 70k to 56k. All in all, I mean, I sort of had to play it. If I didn't play it, I think I would have been much worse off, but it was just a shame that no one really scored a huge amount of points in that week. Got 3 clean sheets, which was pretty good, but my captain, De Bruyne, only got 6 points, and the next highest player after that was Kane with 8 points. So a pretty low scoring week. And then game week 19 is where I got a massive score of 117 points. This was the double game week, and which a lot of us were preparing for. So I made a single free transfer of Calvert-Lewin out, who was injured, and I brought in Antonio, who did really well. So this game week, it took me from 56k to my current rank of 26k. And that's really good considering I didn't use any chips, so no triple captain, no bench boost, just 11 players, and I got a pretty good score. So that's really good. I had 9 players playing in the double game week, and the main source of points came from John Stones, who got 27 points. He scored twice in one game, which is just, unprecedented for him. He doesn't really score that many goals, so to get 2 in one game was just remarkable. And Antonio as well, brought him in, got me 2 goals with maximum bonus. So again, really, really happy with that. In terms of captaincy, I went with Kevin De Bruyne. I thought he had 2 home games. And after the first game, I thought, okay, maybe the second game he could get a better return. But he came off just before the 60-minute mark in the second game against Villa. So that was a bit of a shame. So he only got 8 points in the end, double to 16. But I don't think any of the other big hitters actually scored that highly. Fernandes got 8, Salah got 4, Kane got 9. So no one really went too crazy in terms of the heavy hitters in this game week. So most of the players that did really well are actually some of the fringe players like Pereira from West Brom. And actually a lot of Leicester players did well this week as well. So if you had a Leicester defender, they got 2 clean sheets. If you had a Leicester attacker like Maddison or Barnes, they did really well. A bit of a shame for Jamie Vardy owners because he blanked in both games. But I think Leicester in general are looking really good going forward. So if you have one of their players, definitely keep hold. So I'm pretty pleased that I didn't use my triple captain this week because I think there are still some good game weeks ahead of us where we can use the chip on either a Man City or a Spurs asset when they've got a double game week coming up later on in the season. So there's a lot of talking points going forward. So this is my current team for game week 20. The biggest discussion point sort of going around on Twitter at the moment is what to do with Kevin De Bruyne because he's now injured, potentially up to 6 weeks, some sources are saying. So he needs to be replaced because it's a lot of money to be tied into an injured player. So the options we have as owners of Kevin De Bruyne are to either go to another Man City player, whether that's a midfielder or otherwise tripling up on their defense, or replacing him with another midfielder from another team. And people are looking at Leicester midfielders like Maddison or Barnes. In terms of Man City options, who would you go for? Well, Gundogan has been doing really well for Man City. He's taken the penalty when De Bruyne was off the field, so you'd imagine him being the penalty taker for Man City while Kevin De Bruyne is out, and he's returning really well in the last sort of 7 game weeks. Scored 5 goals so far, which has been really good, and he's been playing. That's the most important thing when you've got a Man City player. You want them to be playing almost every week, and that's what Gundogan's been doing. And he's only 5.5 million, so he's a really good rotation option to have in your squad. The other options for Man City are players like Foden and Mahrez. They're sort of more exciting picks because they're playing further up forward than Gundogan is. But I think they're probably slightly less nailed on than Gundogan. We've seen with Foden that you need to be so patient with him. You just need to have him in your team and just keep playing him, because there are going to be the odd games where he just doesn't start. It's the same with Mahrez as well. But you'd think with De Bruyne out, maybe they'd get more game time than they were previously. I think I'm personally going towards replacing De Bruyne with another Man City mid, because it sounds like they're going to be having a few double game weeks coming up in the near future. So I think I still want to continue with 3 Man City players. And I think I am going to go with Gundogan, because doing Kevin De Bruyne to Gundogan gives me enough funds actually to get Harry Kane in for the game week after. So I do Gundogan in for Kevin De Bruyne. I've got 7.7 remaining in the bank, and that lets me upgrade Davis for Kane. And then I would do that in game week 21, where Spurs are playing Brighton, and then I would even probably captain Kane in that game as well. So that's my thinking there. And then I've still got my 3 Man City players for any double game weeks they have. Spurs also have double game weeks scheduled in the near future, so perhaps it's a good idea getting Kane in now. And Kane in general is just so highly owned that I think if you don't have Kane on Son, and when Spurs actually do manage to get, if they do manage to win games by 2 or 3-0, and Kane and Son are in the points, if you don't have them both, it's very hard to pick up your rank. So that's my thinking at the moment. I think I'm going to go with Gundogan to relieve the funds to then get Kane and then take it from there. So that's probably going to be my free transfer for game week 20. I think at the moment we should be looking to target the Man City fixtures. They've got West Brom, then they've got Sheffield, and then they've got Burnley. So 3 really good fixtures coming up for Man City. So if you haven't got Man City defenders, I'd really advise a double up. I've got Cancelo and Stones, which I'm happy with, but Diaz is also a good option. A lot of people are thinking of tripling up in defence with Man City as well. I think that's a bit too much for me, because all it takes is 1 goal to just sort of ruin your defence, and it's already a bit of a risk going with 2 defenders, but I think 3 is pushing it a bit. But if you're a bit of a maverick, you can go ahead and try that if you want. The other good fixture for this week, I think, is Man U versus Sheffield. So if you've got the likes of a Man U defender, everyone's probably got Fernandes, other players like Rashford. It's a really good week to sort of get them in. I'm definitely going to be captaining Fernandes for this week. My vice captain's on Bamford at the moment because they're playing Newcastle and they're looking really poor lately. So that's probably what I'm going to do at the moment. Put the captaincy on Fernandes, and then hopefully the week after I'm going to be captaining Kane. So yeah, that's it. Please like the video. Comment if you have any other tips for your team or my team. What's your plan for this game week and who you're going to be captaining. Share if you're new, and please consider subscribing to the channel as well. And I'll see you all at the next game week.